Okay, right, we're going to play some of these matches. We've actually got our two best central defenders out at the moment. We've ended up using all of our injury recoveries, and I think they're both effectively, we've only got 3 matches left, they're out for 3 and 6, so they're both effectively out for the rest of the season. So this is going to potentially be a bit of an issue for us, I'd say. We have managed to recruit some other centre halves at least, so now we've got a bit of depth because it was a weakness, so we're not, well, we got a bit of time whilst we're looking. So we got this guy. He's not particularly good in the air, so that's a weakness or marking, but his passing is decent, as we said in the last video. We really want at least around 50. And this guy has the weakness in the passing, and the marking, but he's got better aerial ability. He's got good positioning. So yeah, he's also only 23. They're not great, to be honest. We're still keeping an eye out for stronger centre halves. I think we just needed some depth there because we just had none. We basically were into, as soon as we got pretty much any injuries before, we were just into needing to get 17-year-old players like this guy from our youth squad was sort of coming in, and even though these other players are not great, they are better than this guy, as you would expect, hopefully expect when this guy's only 17. We've kind of settled on this tactic, to be honest. I don't know. It's a hard one. I think because we generally do pretty good. We don't really, very few matches at the moment that we ever dropping points, or it's the case that the issue is the tactic, I would say. I mean, obviously, directly that we have, it generally does pretty well. It generally creates chances. It generally is pretty stable, at least compared to the level of opposition. Normally the issue is just that we don't make the right changes during the match. We've been focusing too much on the future of squad building and not have, we could have had a stronger squad at present with older players. I think the tactic is generally sound for this level. Now that could become an issue, in a higher division, but it isn't an issue at the moment. So yeah, we still have the original sliders. If we go senior squad tactics, we got. I mean, not the runs that we, from our original tactic. We did try a few things, and I think part of the issue is we just haven't had time to play a bunch of friendlies. And also, when you're getting really specific, a lot of it is to do with your players and your tactic are one, so one and the same thing to some degree. So what might be best before is no longer best today, may no longer be best tomorrow. Obviously, it depends on the match as well. You need to be dynamic during the match, but for now, this is kind of working. I kind of suspect at some point, if we can better factor in high endurance, natural fitness players, we really don't want. This would be better to be balanced, I feel. We've kind of been doing that over time. I kind of feel like we could start backing off. And then, halfway through the first half, maybe change it to balanced. Or at some point in the match, change it to balanced. Try and get the timing of that. If we can remember to do that, I feel like that could be something that's good. Because it's clear, I think it's pretty obviously like a suboptimal tactical instruction for our tactic in a vacuum, but the fact that we also just don't want all really tired players at the end of the match, because just but yeah, that's something we can probably work on a bit. I think this one's a bot team. We've not played many. I think we played one other one in these matches. We had a lot of time to check our team. I kind of feel like we're there. Yeah, our central defense, I'd say, is this guy's got really low endurance. He typically needs to come off as well. We don't really have any backup. We've only got this guy who's just can't. We've only got 46 tackling. Even then, he's still probably better. He's not. The tackling for our youth players are better, but probably this guy's better overall. It's just better to fit him in wherever the tackles aren't happening. He's also got pretty poor aerial ability, which isn't great. But his marking is decent, so we just want him in the spot that marks, mostly. And he's just got generally pretty good skills. Right, got there, started. Talk about deflection. So this guy's super fast. He's actually faster than our defenders, which is potentially an issue. These defenders are pretty slow. I'm going to just change our tactic straight away on the basis of that, because it seems like that's their main strength. And so let's go defensive line deep. Let's just change this guy to be attacking midfielder and this guy to be central midfielder. And let's go passing style direct into space. So we're just going to look to launch the attacks forwards. We'll resume for now. And the other thing we just want to check is, in particular, this guy's got 91 speed offset to the right, so the left is 31 to 21. That's fine. That's what we want. We want him offset to that side. We just got a knock as well on our AMC, so we've got to make a decision here. Scored a penalty. So yeah, as you can see, the steep defensive line, giving this really fast striker who is really fast and can finish decently, but he doesn't really, poor in the air, poor strength, poor passing. So we're really limiting. We just close that space for him to run onto, and then hopefully he's just really limited to not be able to do much this game. We'll see. Kind of feel like Ishikawa just needs to come out. I just feel like if we bring him off now, whoever comes on is likely to get tired anyway, so we might as well leave him on for a bit. I'd say until he gets down to 70. He's out for the season anyway at this point, I think. So it's not really any. It's his last match basically. Let's give a farewell to him. I think just because we asking these guys to sprint into all of this space as well, they're going to be getting tired pretty fast. As you can see, he's already nearly down to 70, so I think that was good, because I think we're going to bring another player up front for sure. Let's lock that pause in. Let's see if we can catch it when he's down to 70. I think what we want at this point is just another striker leading the line for these through balls that we're hitting forwards. Up the chance a bit that we win a few more of them. Okay. Shot. It wasn't the striker, I don't think. And that type of pass is one of another separate issue why you really don't want too low passing on central defenders. Stuff like that can be potentially pretty expensive. Just checking the match stats. I'm a bit weary that they do have this striker that's pretty fast here. So I'm sort of okay. Like, I really don't feel they've created anything much. We have a lead. We haven't created that much ourselves. We do have to bear that in mind. We have created a bit though, I'd say. But again, you know, the scoreline matters in the match, for sure. So the fact that we're winning, we're pretty comfortable on the whole, I'd say, in this match. Well, they haven't really created anything. There's a chance we get through the match without conceding a goal, for sure. And we have created a bit ourselves. I'd say there's also, again, a pretty decent chance that we will score ourselves one as well. So it's that type of classic situation that we find ourselves in quite often, at least, you know, in this division, which is that, you know, you're winning a match, you have a goal lead, and it's more likely that we're going to get a second than they're going to score. So you kind of just, with so long left in the match, without being forced to have to make any substitutions due to lack of condition and things like that, it just makes sense to leave it, basically. There, a striker is getting pretty tired. If they sub him off, or even then if they leave it, if they don't, do they have a striker? They do, so this guy's not too slow. He will come on. So let's get him off and let's get on Apartmentia. I just realised we could have put Mizzachi more advanced on left wing attacking, but it's done now. I think it's okay. So I have got this striker on at this point. I was just hitting the pause because, like, at this point with that slower striker, we just want to change it. We don't want to give up that space. He's also decent in the air. He just scored a header. Right, it's a shame. We were literally just about to change it to put the defensive line more advanced to not give up that space, and too slow. That's basically what it comes down to. Too slow. Right. And we had a chance there. I think we definitely had the opportunity to have made that change earlier. We just didn't. Let's keep the direct passing, but we've got one sub left. I guess we don't want to bring a fresh striker on at this point with that last sub for Mizachi when he gets ties a bit more. I guess that's what's happening with it. Good chance. So we have brought that defensive line up now, a little bit late, I would say. Hopefully we can still grab the goal, but we still made the change because obviously we don't want to concede a second goal. Not ideal though. To be honest, it feels like we should be winning this match, and it's just a bad play on our part. Right. Fresh striker on. That is going to stay in. No. Grab the goal right at the end. Looks like we got away with a mistake there. Hopefully. That's the thing. Like, quite often you don't have to do everything perfectly. You just, I mean, obviously, you want to aspire to do the best you can, but sometimes you know you can be a little bit it's just even if you're being a bit suboptimal, you can still win just by making. You know, we easily could have lost that, but at the end of the day, we still made the change. And yes, it was a bit late, and yes, we could have not won because of it, but you know, we still did win, basically. Yeah, a little bit fortunate, I would say. Sometimes the idiom "better late than never" does apply, I suppose, in summary. Right. Got an injury that match, though. Another one. So Ishikawa is also out for the season. Guess Cabo is going to come in now. Guess we just probably want this guy on the bench. Yeah, I'd say. And he scored the winner. He has scored a few goals this season. He didn't. 27 though. Obviously down a lot, but that's why, you know, he's just coming on as a sub, so. I think he got pretty unlucky, to be honest, because there was a stretch where Mizachi was injured and he would have started, but he also got injured in the exact same match coming off the bench. Mizachi got injured, he came on for Mizachi and then also got injured. So that stretch of matches, that 5 matches where he could have started, instead it ended up being this guy that started. I mean, having said that, he scored a hat-trick in one of them, but it was, 1, 2. Anyway. Is what it is. It is what it is. Right. Yeah, this is, I think, an issue when we're looking for strikers is like this guy is. We really want this guy to be getting some matches for our senior team next season. We don't want to like curtail his development because he's really fast and he's got some good stuff going for him. And if he could just be a bit more well-rounded, he could be really good, or at least good backup. And his contract lasts until January as well, so you really want to be able to bring through some youth players. Obviously, he's done really well at youth level this season, but this kind of speed is just like electric at youth level. He wouldn't have the same advantage from, like, there's no way he's gonna put in this type of performance. But like I said, we want to get him matches off the bench. So that's why we didn't. We saw a few decent strikers, but we didn't recruit them. And this guy, on the other hand, I'm not quite sure, to be honest, where he ends up. Like, he has ended up with an AMC role as well, which potentially makes him a little bit useful. But as the advanced playmaker, I don't think he's good enough at it. Like, he will be good enough at a senior level to lead all of that. I think just the passing and vision, it's okay, but it's not high enough. He's not quick enough. He's not strong enough. His flair's super low. His movement's super low. His control is super low. Dribbling is okay or whatever. Finishing fine. So he's got stuff that's okay, but just too many other things that are a little bit on the periphery, but not entirely. Like the control is pretty important, and the flair. They're just really low. And even and I think in particular because he's not fast, he's going to end up in more situations where he ends up settling for a long shot, and from the AMC role with not being fast, you have just more situations where he ends up taking a long shot, and then therefore this lower long shots is also a major issue. I just feel like on the whole, he's got there is no real future for him, but there is potentially a future for the other guy. Having said that, this guy's still only 23, and he is already quite well-rounded. His finishing composure is decent. If that goes up at all, gets into really good kind of range. He is really fast, so dribbling isn't great. So you want him more to like run onto a through ball, especially with the bad control as well. So you really want a through ball that he runs onto. And again, like the building, the pass on and stuff. So this guy is more good for a through ball to run onto. The passing is it's not horrible, at least. It's but on the whole, that's what you want this guy to be, I believe. But so I think he's only 23 still, so he's pretty good still. So he's clearly going to be higher up in the pecking order than this other guy. And then Mizachi is just kind of awesome, basically. So he's definitely, so at the moment it's kind of like, and then this guy's, I think part of the issue is that even though I want to get him matches, he's realistically his 4th in the pecking order, so he's just not going to get many matches, basically. But he will get some, just not many, as 4th choice striker. It's pretty low. And as soon as if we buy another striker and he becomes fifth choice, then he won't get any matches at all. We're going to have to be forcing it a bit, to be honest, like prioritising him a little bit higher than his true placement in the pecking order, I would say. And I'd also say with Bevan, like, we've added, I think, 2 positions to him, so we invested quite a lot of resources into him, and he's quite useful generally for squad cover and stuff, so we won't really be looking to sell him. Alright, the strikers are not fast. They've got a bit more speed at the back, though. Not too much speed for our attackers to have an issue with. I would say we'll just leave our normal tactic for now and see how it goes. It's going okay. I think one thing in particular in that last match we do have to consider that I don't think we fully considered when we made that. I think it was still the right choice with that deep defensive line. It was just that we should have changed it earlier and hopefully not conceded that goal. But I think one thing that exasperates the issue a little bit is that we aren't, our 2 best central defenders are not playing, and the ones that are in are like poor in the air, poor at marking and stuff like that. So it's not ideal to be playing a deep defensive line with defenders that are bad in the air, that can't mark and stuff like that, because the chances that the other team's likely to create are going to involve working the ball around, crossing it in the box, whatever, or effectively, your defenders will have to win a duel, so to speak, whether an aerial duel or whatever. And if they're poor in the air, then it's not great. So I think that's something we didn't fully factor in. I still think it was the right decision. I just think we didn't fully consider how weak, in particular, our defensive unit is this match, last match, and this match, and next match. So with that in mind, I think in particular, we really don't want to get... This match, we probably, especially if it's done and dusted, as soon as it gets done and dusted, this match, we'll probably want to sub off central defender. I mean, one thing we didn't check, I think we can check it now. Are we a bit ahead of ourselves? Probably, because we've only had 4 shots to entire. Alright, we're not going to be able to run this. I don't know, maybe we're not. Let's not ahead of ourselves. One thing we can quickly check is just in our summer league 14. It is possible the goal difference is going to matter here. basically. So, I guess we need to keep that in mind. We're getting promoted regardless, so, and, you know, at the end of the day, if he does get injured, it's just for the last match. So I think for this match and next match, we should probably just be focusing on less on sort of injuries and stuff, especially the next one. It doesn't matter, it's the last match of the season. So, yeah. Let's ignore that comment about subbing off a central defender to hope they don't get injured. There's only one match left after this one. If they just happen to get injured, they happen to get injured. We'll just deal with it. For now, let's just try and get the goals. Because it was pretty bad, wasn't it? I think. Did they? Oh, let's have a look. Already can't remember. Yeah, so they've basically got a match to spare and also 2 up on the goal difference. So probably they're finishing with a higher goal difference, to be honest. There's not a lot we can do here, I don't think. Just try and keep a good team out on the pitch, I suppose. This is our attacking wide midfielder, so we're just going to queue up the tactical change because we'll bring on a sub for him. We've got Palmai on the bench. Alright, let's keep another sub for Rivera. I think we want to do that. Let's do it after defending the set piece. Rivera's very good at defending. I don't know if taking off Rivera is the most important thing. He's pretty good, to be honest, even when he's tired. Let's just leave him out there. It's definitely something we would want to do if we weren't looking to try and run the score up a bit, but I think because of that, I think it's more important just to save our last 2 subs, probably just for these attacking players, you know, when they get below 80% condition, just to get a fresh attacker out there. Good shot. A bit faster than I expected. honestly don't know if this has been the right move, because I wasn't expecting them to last this long, to be honest. I thought would have made those subs by now. Probably at this point feel like it was better to sub these other players. Right, we're going to hit the pause for now. I think I'll make some kind of sub. Okay. Guess I'll do it now. Let's just take off Mazzarchi and Cabo. Put the strikers up front. Change him to attacking. Change him to central. Change this to direct. Yeah, this isn't great. We probably should have done different subs here. Yeah, it's not good. Not for. I mean, obviously we're going to win the match. I'm talking about for the goal difference, because we really needed to, I think, get a 4-goal win. That's what I was looking for, but 2 is really bad. For that, I think we just won't get there on the goal difference. We're just going to be reliant on hoping that they drop points, pretty much, I think. Careful, we may not even win. No, yes, it was 90th minute. So, yeah, it was probably a mistake, just having all these really tired players across midfield, across defence. Might have just been better off doing much earlier subs for some of these other players, rather than waiting till this really late juncture to do the 2 strikers. And we had a chance there, but yeah, just the 2 goals, I think. 2-goal win, I mean. That puts us on even goal difference, but we've got 1 match to play. They've got 3, so realistically, okay, and on top of that, they've also, even then, if it ties on goal difference, they're going to probably have more scored than we have as well. So I think we're pretty much 100% reliant on them dropping points. Fair enough, is what it is. Probably we can just factor that into this match, unless this last match, unless there's some genuine chance that we can kind of run up a pretty big score. I guess we just don't bother. Just settle, just try and win. Which will probably be pretty obvious early on. Actually, I'll stop that for now, because I think this video is 40 minutes, so I think we'll just stop it at that. And we just need to do some other stuff for now, so I think we'll do this other match as a separate video. Maybe we'll do it with the youth ones. Alright. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'd say first match in particular was an interesting one from the result perspective. Did have to work a bit to get it. Could have dropped points there as well, so it was pretty good. Right, cheers. Thanks for watching, and catch you for the next video. Cheers.